right, hello. It's a beautiful Sunday evening, day number 18 in the month of February 2024. Good evening and welcome to Iron Port here on Metropolitan Television. Iron Port is proudly brought to you by the Ghana Revenue Authority, Goyle PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link Network Services, Meridian Port Services, and indeed Phoenix Insurance. Remember, the show is proudly powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority-GPHA. And our media partner on this journey of a lifetime is the Business and Financial Times, the BNFT. If you want to have a grasp of all that transpired in the show tonight, make a date and grab the Thursday edition of the BNFT, and you'll be able to see all that happened here on the show. We are streaming live on our social media pages. On Facebook, we are live at Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Still on Facebook, we are streaming live at Port of Tema. And on YouTube, we are live at Iron Port Ghana. Iron Port Ghana. Indeed, we shall be getting interactive with you, and so all you have to do is sit back, relax, and grab your phones and send us your messages and comments via our dedicated WhatsApp line, which is 0559-019-177. 0559-019-177. When the time is ripe and I pick signals from the production team, we shall activate the phone lines for you to call in and contribute to the discussion. My name is Kennedy Mona. We are going for a quick break. When we return, we'll continue the show. Please stay with us.
Guys, now I'm tired. I'll go on a date with whoever gets here first.
Princess, really? Okay, I come.
Shut up!
Mame, Boss, fill my tank with Super XP Euro 95.
Well up with Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP high performance products from Goyle.
Sorry, Tony got here first, so I'm stepping with him.
Oh, cut him. Hey, go for a
Choose Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP for an energizing driving experience. Always go for Goyle Super XP Ron 95. Goyle, good energy.
Goyle is good energy. Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Impressive factory. If only I had listened to you, I wouldn't have been in this mess. That devastating fire virtually wiped out the whole factory and my warehouse.
Remember my misfortunes last year? Serene Insurance Asset All Risk Fire policy that I took were there to pay for my damaged stocks in the warehouse, and my machines that were affected by the floods have been replaced. My accident vehicle is back on the road thanks to Serene Insurance motor policy. Currently, my goods are on the high seas covered with their marine cargo insurance policy. I was just telling Ajima about Serene Insurance. Oh, Ajima, tell him more.
As a road contractor, I make sure I do my contractors all risk insurance for the projects and then workers' compensation for all the workers on site. With Serene Insurance, they will make sure they will cover your unknown tomorrow today.
Serene Insurance, a new face of insurance. Call us now.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302-246-319 or 0243-690-492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
All right, so welcome back. Now, the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority has developed some comprehensive occupational health, safety and environment policies. And the whole of last week, the authority was quite busy engaging in some stakeholder and staff sensitization of these policies. We'll see some stories from there by way of local news in both the ports of Tema and Takoradi. Plus the fact that, yes, we all also acknowledge the fact that 14th February was Valentine's Day. We also call it Chocolate Day here in Ghana. And the GPHA Tourist Club plus the Port Ladies Association also undertook some activities to mark the day. Let's take a look at these stories and more.
Like every well-meaning corporate organization, the health, safety, and environmental consciousness of workers is a crucial component of the culture of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. To this end, the OHSC Committee of GPHA has embarked on a sensitization drive on the occupational health, safety, and environment policies within the port enclave to help staff and stakeholders appreciate the essence of the policy and what is required of them in its implementation. In Tema, staff and stakeholders converged at various areas of the port, including the Golden Jubilee Terminal, the Fish Market Hall at the Fishing Harbour, and Agbozu Car Park at the main harbour entrance. The chairman of the OHSC committee, who doubles as the General Manager Health Services Tema, Dr. Vitos Victor Nabisi, urged staff to be responsible for their health by reporting occupational health hazards, seeking early medical attention, and complying with OHSC protocols.
And we should keep GPHA as a national resource. Don't forget also that we are a border. It's an entry point. It's not only the airport or a flower border that's an entry point. The port is a big entry point. So we are here working that entry point, and we have a duty to play.
The General Manager Estate and Environment, James Benjamin, re-emphasized the need for proper waste disposal and management in the port community.
Also, your papers, don't throw the papers away. They are not useful. We can reuse them and we can recycle them.
Port Fire and Safety Manager Edward Heyman admonished staff and stakeholders to appropriately use personal protective equipment when within the port environment.
Some of the PPE, just take for instance like overall. Normally it comes with long sleeves. It is not just for fans. And we advise that you don't go and cut it and make it a short sleeves.
The ISO coordinator of GPHA, Frances Jemima Menu, urged staff to apply occupational health and safety guidelines to maintain the organization's enviable status as an ISO certified organization.
We got certified to ISO 27001-2013, which is Information Security Management System. So all information nodes are protected. Whatever you do with the information, there's traceability.
The director of Port Tema, Sandro Poku, cautioned staff against drug and alcohol abuse.
And so this year we have to ensure that we implement this no tolerance for substance abuse to the very letter.
A float around the port community was held to drum home the need to comply with the OHSC policies and procedures.
Safety rules are a port in Yasremo, more Bemo ammonia, Yasimunja reflector, Namoshe, Mompapua, Modibayan Fachalewate, Yapasa, Muya safe, into Okava now Kama, na would your rapport.
In Takoradi, a debate was organized to create awareness and sensitize GPHA employees and other port community stakeholders on the Port Authority's occupational health, safety and environment policy and procedures, which have been comprehensively revised to reflect the contemporary requirements and expectations of sustainable international business. The Director of Port of Takoradi, Peter Mobediako, backed by the GPHA OHSC Committee Chairman, Dr. Vitus Victor Anabisi, and ISO Coordinator Frances Jemima Menu, underscored the importance of an organizational culture that prioritizes health and safety of workers and its trickle-down effect on productivity.
Important that we bring to bear the environment, because it is important that ethics, our production and everything that goes on is environmentally sustainable. We need to ensure that we do not pollute the environment so that at least we can hand over to the next generation a sustainable environment, a very healthy environment, so that they can also thrive.
We have put the policies together, policies that go beyond ISO. These policies are really put to good use, not only among the staff, but even external stakeholders, those who do business with us, contractors, concessionaires, and all that, suppliers and all that, our vendors. These are people we deal with day in, day out. They should know what we have in a document which relates to them, and they should comply with certain provisions in our laws, in our guidelines, in our policies, so that together we'll keep our workplace safe, we'll keep our workplace healthy, and at the end of the day, we will not pollute the environment.
This is just the beginning. There are more awareness programs that will take different forms to come within the year and years ahead. We ask the general public to come on board to help the authority to have its performance in occupational health and safety and environment improved.
Also present was the Harbour Master for the Port of Takoradi, Captain James Richmond Quayson, General Manager Legal Joshua Nimako, Acting General Manager Administration Kwabna Edusafo, who all resounded the need for staff to follow rules and guidelines spelled out in the organization's OHSC policy.
The Greenwich Meridian passes through Tema and meets the equator southwards in the Gulf of Guinea, making Tema the closest coastal city to the geographic center of the world. This year, to mark the Day of Valentine, the Tourist Club of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority decided to take a short pilgrimage to Tema Community 1, where the Greenwich Meridian passes through. This was to shed some light on the port city's bright position on the globe, while promoting the consumption of Ghanaian chocolate. This was done in collaboration with the Ghana Tourism Authority. The Member of Parliament for Tema West, Carlos Ahenkra, described this initiative as a novelty of cultural significance.
In other countries where this line passes through, the significance of having this line going through the townships, the country itself, brings a lot of prestige to the people of that country.
Meanwhile, the Port Ladies Association of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority commemorated the Valentine's Day celebration by exchanging gifts to promote harmony among female employees at the ports. The meeting was also an opportunity to discuss strategic plans for the new year so far as PLUS projects are concerned. The Port Ladies Association, which has been in existence for over 30 years, is currently made up of over 500 female employees of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, indicating the growing participation of females in the maritime industry.
All right, so welcome back. Those were happenings in the port and shipping industry in the course of the week. We are now going to take the word of the day. Remember, the word or phrase of the day has been fashioned to bring you up to speed with the terminologies and jargons we use in the shipping industry. Today's word is gangway. Gangway.
Gangway refers to an opening in the bulwark of the ship, allowing passengers to board or leave the ship.
All right, so we are zooming into our discussion proper tonight. Tonight we are talking occupational health, safety and environment. Like you saw in the stories there, the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority has crafted and developed a comprehensive document, in fact documents, for occupational health, safety and environment. And last week the authority was engaged in stakeholder and staff sensitization to get the buy-in of all these groups of people so that the implementation will be smooth. Now, there's a committee in place that came up with these policies. And so tonight in the studio, we're trying to examine the rationale behind this particular committee and the development of these policies and what the authority seeks to achieve with them. And so it gives me pleasure to introduce you as this evening from my extreme left, Mrs. Frances Jemima Menu. She's the ISO coordinator for Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Good evening, ma'am, and welcome.
Good evening.
Absolutely. And next to her, say if you can put on your microphone, my immediate left is Mr. James Benjamin Gazy, who is the Estate and Environment Manager, GM, General Manager in charge of Estate and Environment at the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, who is also a member of the committee. Indeed, Mrs. Menu is also a member of the committee, and the chairman of the committee himself is also in the studios, in the person of Dr. Vitus Victor Anabisi. He also doubles as the General Manager in charge of Health Services, Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Good evening, GM, and welcome, sir.
Thank you. Good evening to you all.
Awesome. Also to join us via Zoom will be Mr. Edward Heyman, who is the Port Fire and Safety Manager for the Port of Tema. He'll be joining us along the line via Zoom. So let me begin with you, Dr. Anabisi, Chairman of the committee. If you can tell us about this committee and the work you have done so far that culminated in the churning out of these policies that you have been sensitizing the staff and stakeholders about.
All right. Thank you, Ken. Good evening to our listeners and fellow Ghanaians. It's an opportunity to come to your homes this evening to share with you what we have.
We're glad to have you,
So
sir.
thank you for the opportunity.
Awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Occupational Health, Safety and Environment, OHSC Committee of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority was formed way back 2016 after the port was certified to ISO. We all know International Standards Organization. Later on, we shall delve deep into that. That's why we have our ISO rep on the committee. So this committee was put together. It's a standing committee made up of 14 members who are staff of GPHA. Most of them are general managers. In fact, almost everybody is a general manager except two.
Right.
So why did management put this committee together? Simple. Because Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority takes matters of occupational health and safety and environment very seriously. So they had to form this committee.
Right.
And we went straight to work. We've been working over the years, put a lot of documents together. I'm sure during the course of this program, we'll have an opportunity to see some of the documents that we have put together.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, so I'll also continue with you. If you can provide us with some overview of the authority's occupational health and safety policies that you have come up with, and if you can highlight the key objectives and priorities as enshrined in these documents.
Thank you once again. Allow me to just read the policy statement of our document in the first place. And this document has been signed by the Director General. So this is what the policy statement says. It says that Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, GPHA, recognizes that its wealth, strength, and future lie in the health and safety of its staff and all interested parties and the general sustainability of the environment. This pledge is in line with its core values and aspirations. In conformance with applicable compliance obligations, GPHA shall provide and ensure a safe and healthy working environment for its employees, port users, port operators, and the community. To this end, GPHA is committed to 1. Implementing best practices that minimize and eliminate environmental impact and health and safety risk of port operations on its employees, port users, port operators, and the community. Providing a secured and safe environment for people, vessels, cargo, and facilities. Providing all the necessary resources such as personal protective equipment, PPEs, and information, education, and communication materials to enable it to deliver on its OHSC mandate. Integrating best OHSC policies, management practices into the staff conditions of service. So this is just verbatim. I've quoted and read to you the policy statement. We shall delve deep into it when we go further.
Right. Okay, let me come to Ms. Yes, you wanted to
yes,
add something.
I wanted to add something that you asked me for the main objectives.
Yes.
Exactly. If we're able to put all this policy together, why did we do it? Why did management task us? Why is the Director General the one who's taking absolute and responsibility for these policies and documents? One, we need to continually improve the management of the OHSC systems and standards at the workplace for all employees and interested parties. Two, we have to provide a safe and healthy working environment for employees and other interested parties of the ports. We should create awareness as well among employees and other third parties to enable them to continue to appreciate their responsibilities and accountability concerning OHSC.
Right.
We should also reinforce a culture of safe working practices at the workplace, not only in the port, but even for our concessionaires, our contractors, they should emulate GPHA and do the same at their various workplaces. We are emphasizing on the prompt rehabilitation of injured employees. I said in our policy statement that the employees are the wealth of the authority.
Yes.
So we are very particular about that. Reducing the cost of accidents and injuries in the port. Promoting the well-being of employees. Consulting with employees and port community and interested parties on OHSC policies. Providing and maintaining, as far as practicable, port infrastructure, systems, processes, and equipment that are safe and without risk to the health of all employees and the interested parties, and environmentally sustainability.
Right.
And last but not the least, taking steps to eliminate or mitigate, as far as practicable, any hazard or potential hazard to the health and safety of all employees and interested parties before resorting to personal protective equipment.
Right.
I will also add that we do that so that we ensure safe handling, storage, or transportation of hazardous substances as far as practicable through the ports. And then we provide training and supervision that may be necessary to ensure, as far as practicable, healthy and safe working environment.
Right.
So these are the main objectives of our policies and procedures that we've put together.
Right. Okay. So let me come to Mrs. Menu and find out from you. If we say an organization is ISO certified, what does that mean? How does that inure to business productivity for the authority?
Thank you so much, Ken. I would like to, first of all, thank you for the invitation. And also thank you, your listeners and then your viewers.
Yes.
And yes, if they say an organization is ISO certified, it means that you are benchmarking your services against international standards and best practices. And this can lead to efficiency in your services, which at the long run improve your internal business processes and obviously enhance your customer satisfaction.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so basically that's what it is.
Yeah.
And so what role do you play as far as sitting in the committee of the OHSC, of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority is concerned?
Yes, as an ISO
you
coordinator,
can't decouple, yeah.
Yes, I work with all departments across the authority. I don't work alone. I work with the heads of departments and their representatives who are otherwise called the FQMs.
Yes.
So audits, internal audit results and external audit results are collated, and then we assist them to use their own expertise to solve them. But in times where they are unable to solve these issues, I escalate it to the OHSC committee, who then assist because they are close to top management.
Right.
You know, like Doctor indicated, the OHSC committee was birthed from the ISO certification.
Right.
And it was very, very important to have this committee set up because then it helps give a global view of how important the authority needs to place resources to managing its OHSC systems
right.
due to the services we provide, and how we affect the community we operate in. Yes, so that's my role in it. I try to bring in issues that are beyond the capability of the HODs to the committee. Then the committee made of this top executive of the authority then use their power to escalate the issues to get them solved.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So let me come to Mr. Gazy. Throughout the sensitization programs, you were at the forefront of championing the protection of the port environment and the pollution prevention and all that. I just want to find out from you, environmental consciousness perhaps is the overarching objective so that you are able to protect the environment for productivity and sustainability. How crucial is this element of consciousness to the port productivity and sustainability as far as the environment is concerned?
Good. Thank you, Ken, and good evening to your viewers. Since we are still in the month of love, I want to send out my best wishes to all viewers.
Right.
Wish them the best of love.
Absolutely.
Ken, we said that environmental protection is the practice of protecting the natural environment by individuals, by organizations, and by government.
Right.
And the main objective is to conserve the natural environment and also the resources that we have. So the individual has a key responsibility to play.
Yes.
If we're able to let him understand and know the duty of care that he has towards the environment, his responsibility towards the environment, then you have the half of the issues resolved.
Yeah.
Once he has that understanding that he is the first point of call when it comes to protecting the environment, he becomes a key figure in helping even before the organization takes steps. Because it starts with the individual, the organization like GPHA, then the government. So we say first point fingers at ourselves before we go to point fingers at government. So a well-conscious, a well-informed citizens will help in the protection of the environment. So it's very key, very key. And like we said, the unsustainable consumption is the cause of the pollution that we have. So if individuals know that they will have to reduce or responsibly consume the natural resources that we have, then we'll have the half of the problem solved. Yes.
I just want to find out from you whether GPHA has undertaken, in terms of environment, whether we've undertaken any environmental projects that is in line or that are in line with OHSC, policies.
Yes. As a member of the committee, and my department is in charge of the environment, GPHA has signed on to the ISO 14001, which is the environmental management systems. And that system indicates that the Port Authority will have to place environmental issues very, very high on the agenda. We should consider all environmental issues relevant in our operation. So it put a heavy burden on us to develop programs and policies to be able to implement and manage the environment. So we have various plans, the waste management plan, we have the air quality plan, we have water resource plan, and under all these plans, we have programs.
Right.
The waste management, and the waste management, we have the waste segregation program, we have the recycling program, we have the under air quality, we have the monitoring of the environment, we have the SOPs for
standard operating procedures
for all operators in the port that they need to comply with to help all of us to protect the environment.
Okay, so let me come back to Doc and find out from you. You led the charge as far as the various sensitization programs that took place in both the ports of Tema and Takoradi are concerned. You spoke to a cross-section of stakeholders and staff alike. I just want to find out from you whether you've been able to elicit or get some feedback on these stakeholder engagements that you have embarked on, whether you met the objectives for which you embarked on them.
Thank you very much, Ken. Yes, over the week, as you rightly indicated, we were in Takoradi for a day, then we came down to Tema for 2 days. This exercise, I think, helped the committee to appreciate the work that has gone into the formulation of the policies and all the procedures and documents. What I also said was that, oh, so many general managers are on this committee, meaning they were surprised to see the level of management's involvement in these policies. In the first place, these policies were formulated by us with input from all categories and levels of staff.
Yes.
So when they saw us on the field trying to synthesize them, trying to create awareness, they were excited to see us, especially on the float. That we were on the tracks and we were talking and we were dancing, we were carrying our placards and all that. So people got excited. And somebody remarked that, oh, did we realize that even as we were driving through, even the drivers were all in their reflectors?
Yes.
You know, so it means that it is getting out there and people are beginning to appreciate and to understand that whatever policy that we have are really important and they must put it to use. So I think the feedback is positive and we hope we are going to actually build on that and use that as a stepping block to get more policies down to the staff.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mrs. Meno, it does appear that most of the work that you do hinges on compliance. You try to drum home the need for stakeholders and staff to be compliant with, OHSE policies and all that. And that's what secures us, the ISO certification. Why is that?
Thank you for the question. These OHSE issues are also requirements in the ISO standards. So complying with them shows that we are committed to keeping our ISO standards.
Right.
And it also tells the world that we are a responsible organization. GPHA works or interlays or interacts with international bodies as well. We're also compliant with IMO requirements or regulations, and then the ILO and all that. And some of these issues are outlined in these as well.
Right.
So in order to demonstrate to the world that we are really up for business, we need to comply with them. And it also helps us to keep our ISO 45001 and 14001 certification. Yes.
All right, so in terms of compliance, how does the OHSE committee and your unit, that's the ISO unit, work in tandem with other departments to ensure effective compliance?
A typical example is what happened last week, where we had awareness programs. In our plans, we have training programs. So some of the training programs that ISO undertake for staff, some are discussed by the OHSE committee. We also carry out internal audits. We do our walkthroughs. And I was very happy last year we were able to pull top management led by DG to the field. Takoradi, we pulled the DP.
Yes.
And then Tema, the DP joined the DG.
Yes.
This shows commitment to ensuring that these OHSE requirements or issues are addressed adequately.
Right.
So some of these things, we encourage the stakeholders when they see that there's an opportunity for trainings, free trainings, of course, and then awareness programs for staff, they should partake. We also embark on this annual general inspection. Some of these issues are shared with the OHSE committee, and out of it was development of the sanctions for the port operators.
Right.
So these are some of the issues we dwell on to ensure that the OHSE issues are addressed in the port. Yes.
Do you still embark on your random, visitation to offices?
I bet you we do. We do. We do our walkthroughs monthly.
Right.
We encourage departments to do it themselves. Then we would come randomly and then we inspect to ensure that they've done it.
Right.
Then around August, we have our internal audit. We have trained internally selected ISO auditors who perform audits in all these areas. And then we have our external audits in November. However, the OHSC chairman, I remember last year, he just got, I said, we have to do a monitoring.
Right.
And then we went through. There were things that we say, but he seeing it himself made him understand how serious they were. Example was the GJT, the yard.
Yes.
And it was through there he now understood my plight and he escalated the issues. And issues are being addressed, and I'm so pleased. I want to use this opportunity to thank the OHSC committee and then the top management of the authority for coming to our aid. Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
All right, so let me come to Mr. Gazi and find out from you whether you've done an audit of the current environmental challenges that we have within the port community and what the authority is doing to get these issues addressed or ameliorated.
Yeah, Ken, definitely we have. We have the environmental issues in the port can be grouped in 3 key areas. We have air quality challenges. Air quality, if I say air quality challenge, we have dust emissions from the discharge and loading of clinker and cement. Then we have gas emission from vehicles, vessels, cargo trucks, and our own operational equipment. Then we have odor nuisance, where discharges from the municipal waste system get into the port, and the smell is all over the place. And even discharge from industries, the liquid waste from industry discharge into the drains, and the scent is all over the place. So odor nuisance is a huge problem, in Tema especially, not in Takrady. And we have water pollution as well. Water pollution, still municipal liquid waste seeping into our drains and onto the water basin. Then we have oil spills, occasional oil spill, not much, we don't experience it so much, but these are water pollution issues that we deal with sometimes. And then land contamination. Disposal of refuse, discriminate disposal of refuse. Trucks go and discharge cargo, remnant waste, they just find any place and clean it and dump it there. People come from their homes. I've seen a couple of them with polythene bag refuse. You just throw it out. We have waste bins at
vantage points,
and if you put them in it, I have no problem with it. But some, because they don't want to be seen, they will not even get off their car. They will sit in their car and just throw it. It may land in the container, it may not land in the container. And when it rains, the flood picks this thing and goes into our drain, and we all have that flooding issues. So these are some of the issues that we have identified as environmental concern in the port. For air quality, we are introducing measures to reduce it, especially dust. We have developed under this Occupational Health and Safety document, developed SOPs that all clinker operators, we used to have only Gasem, then Dangote joined, and now we have about 9 of them. And I hear people more are still knocking at our doors. They use various methods in loading and discharging of their cargo, and they create a lot of dust. So we have developed SOPs for them to be applied to all these operators. And thankfully, the current monitoring manager is applying these SOPs strictly. And anybody who flouts them gets a fine. We are not interested in the money, but we just want people to stick to the regulations.
That was going to be my next question, whether there were any punitive measures for intransigent stakeholders or staff.
They pay any time you flout any of them. For instance, when you're using a truck you're not supposed to fill above the truck level, the bucket level. Some, because they want to discharge as fast as possible, will heap the truck above there. And when they are traveling along the route, they spill.
Yes.
And it's a dust material. So
Yeah.
when they spill, the dust is over the place. And the security manager is tasked to stop any vehicle that load above the limit.
Yes.
And find that
the vehicle.
So it's working. It's working. I'm sure that with time we'll be able to achieve the levels that we want. And we also bring in a monitoring system to monitor the dust levels to see whether we are within. At Terminal 3, monitoring is going on. We'll have some devices there to do the monitoring.
Have we gotten some results yet?
Yeah, we have some results that are all within far below
Acceptable
the
limits?
limits, but we've not measured in where the problems are.
Okay.
So we're going to transfer the devices to where the dust activity is.
Right.
And we believe that we'll get some result by the end of this quarter.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
And when it comes to water pollution,
yes,
where we have liquid waste coming through the municipal, the communities
Yes.
into the drains, we've engaged the assembly to do something about it. And we've threatened them. If they don't, we'll block access to all this source of...
So they will have to look for the alternative channels.
Yes. So it's something like the ISO coordinator will be engaging our tenants to ensure that they comply with the environmental schedules that they have assigned to with EPA.
Right.
If you don't, we'll report to EPA, and we'll try to take appropriate action to protect the environment, the port environment.
Right.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much indeed, GM. I would come back to you. But I understand that we have the Port Fire and Safety Manager, Mr. Edward Heyman, on the line. Good evening, sir, if you can hear me. Hello, Mr. Heyman. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening.
Oh, there you are. Awesome. Thank you very much for joining us. Just first of all, would want to find out from you whether there are any specific measures and protocols in the port of Tema to ensure the safety and well-being of both staff and stakeholders.
Yes, I think first my best wishes to our viewers, and then the port community as a whole. We also thank you for this opportunity, and I think yes, the port have measures in the port. I think, like my colleague at the panel indicated, we have a policy, a clear line specified policy, and then the safety regulations in the port. These policies are there for all clients who come into the port to adhere to follow the procedures, the port systems. And we always refer them into it, ensuring that they follow as required. The port regulations are very clear, telling you what is expected of you, what you're supposed to do at all times. These are a few other things that are being set in the port. And then we have a very good working environment. The workshops are very clean. We have specified work area for staffs to change themselves, local rooms, washrooms, as required by standards. The port follow all these procedures, and they are clear, they are in the port.
All right, in terms of ensuring safety of staff and all that, what role do you expect the staff to play to help complement the efforts that your unit is putting in place?
Yes, per the OSHA 45,001 procedure as required, all staffs or employees are to be ensured that they follow the regulations in the port. That's a standard authority has given to them, that the employer has been given to them. The provision of PPE, they're supposed to use it as per instructions granted unto them. They're supposed to follow as required. And then they're supposed to also report incidents like accident, near misses, and other like for proper investigation and then preventions, recommendations, and preventions so that it does not occur again. These are clear things that we also want employees to be able to follow up with.
Are you able to share with us some notable success stories or initiatives that you have rolled out as far as occupational health and safety is concerned in the port of Tema that has helped in the execution of your mandate?
Good. I think the ports have come a long way, and I think there are great success we can count today. Basically, those who have joined the port today may not understand some of these things because this is the port whereby at the operational areas, debt was normal, and then it was accounted as normal once operation is going on. They're supposed to be machines running over people, killing them instantly. Today, it is difficult to count about that aspect because there are clear distinctions where employers and then customers are not to go, especially at the operational working area. Operators have been well educated and sure that they will even stop operation when you come to their area of operation because the operator sitting at the top lifter or the equipment may not see you close by his ties when he's turning around and other things. So these are clear this thing that we don't get it in the port. Although there are few incidents that we still get it in the port, but not like previously whereby machine will run over somebody and then he will die instantly and other things. It has been a thing of the past. And also, I think the ISO concept has been very, very good to the port. And it is like every day we are improving. That is the concept. You could see that our CEO himself, our directors, the HODs, all of them are involved. And like my head GM indicated, where we see general managers on a float. In fact, that tells you that everybody has accepted it and ensuring that safety has come to stay. And now our focus is to build a culture. Once you enter into the port, you know that this is the culture the port is driving at, and you have to be part of it.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll still stick with you because I don't want us to hold you on the distance. So let me just exhaust you and then let you go so that we come to the studio. I just want to find out from you, in the event of an emergency or an incident, if you can tell us if there are any established response and evacuation procedures in place and how these are communicated to the relevant staff and stakeholders.
Yes, thank you very much. In fact, the ports have emergency contact system 24/7, whereby you can call any of the contacts and then your issue will be received and then the appropriate discipline or the area will respond to. We have the port control, we have the port security, we have the port fire, and we have the health services. In fact, you call any of these contacts have been posted in the port everywhere, and all the workers have been educated upon, and then you can easily reach anybody. These areas today run 24/7. At any time you call, somebody will respond. When there are incidents, there are procedures we all follow, depending upon the type of incidents and depending upon the type of the leading department who will take up. Other departments will follow suit and then assist, ensuring that we control it and mitigate it. In fact, this has been a very good success for the port, and then for over the years, we rehearse it and then also always update it, and then we are very conversant with it. When there are incidents and then we call ambulance or fire, within 2 to 3 minutes, they will be at your reach. And this is an aspect where we think it is good for the port for now.
All right, so I think that I can testify to the fact that you've organized, as it were, regular drills and simulation exercises just to prep you up and to ensure that your response in terms of any such incident or accident or emergency is apt. But I just want to find out from you how you, as the Port Fire and Safety Manager, sees the OHSE policies evolving, along the line and within the maritime sector, and what challenges or opportunities you foresee. That's your last one.
Good. Thank you. I think for the emergency response, I think indeed it has been of good for us. And then I think for the drills, we have continuous drills that we do, and then we have monthly, we have quarterly drill. Per the State Insurance Commission, always every year they want to have the port emergency drills and trainings plan, which we submitted, and that become a guide for us to practice and ensure that we exhibit it and report it. And with the ISO concept, there are internal auditors, external auditors. They will come around and see that this is the indication. What have you done? We want to see the report. We want to see the gaps. We want to see the corrections and other things that you have done. And it is a mandate for every department, every HOD who is responsible to ensure that this is being done, and we do them. There is a hope for GPHA emergency system in the port. Unlike before, basically you will see if the CEO himself is up to the task, the directors are with us, and then with the program we organize, the director was in the program from beginning to end, both Tema and Takoradi, the HODs, the GMs. I think this is very exciting.
When you say CEO, I'm sure you are referring to the Director General.
Yes, the Director General, the Director General himself is with us and agree with us on this concept. They have been guiding us and ensuring that we go. They don't want to see us maybe going against the policy and then the regulations. They want to see how we meet it. Again, to all the safety requirements that we request, they provide them. Speaking to you, I think I've just received body cameras for my session, my department, to do monitoring and report on them. And that tells you that this becomes a booster and motivation for myself and my staff to ensure that whenever we go around and there are indications, there are incidents, we can have evidence to push them and ensure that I think corrective measures are well taken and then addressed.
Awesome. Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Edward Heyman. He is the Port Fire and Safety Manager, Port of Tema, and a member of the OHSE Committee, Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. We are grateful to you for obliging us this evening. You, unfortunately, couldn't make it to the studio. We're glad we had you via Zoom. So let me come to Chairman of the Committee, Dr. Vitus Victor Nabisi, and find out from you how you are able to ensure that staff of the authority are well informed and trained to, as it were, enhance the understanding and appreciation of the OHSE policies that you have developed.
Perfect. Thank you once again, Ken. OHSE policies that we are talking about does not concern only employees. It reaches out to all the external stakeholders in the port. So we have the role of staff and we also have the role of the stakeholders. Now, just to add a bit to what Mr. Heyman said before I go on to your question.
Yes, sir.
The thing is that for accidents, near misses, incidents and all that, there is a rigorous regime how we go handle those things. Thank God, top management has seen it necessary to put at the disposal of the committee and disposal of the entire port resources. We have got inadequate budgetary allocations to take care of health and safety issues.
Right.
PPEs is the example that would just really come to mind. Personal protective equipment. If you come to the port, everywhere in every session, the relevant PPEs are used. And so one of the main functions of the Fire and Safety Department is ensure that people use their PPEs appropriately and correctly. So, and it's all money. It's a lot of investment in this area. So staff come to work assured that, look, we'll have enough adequate protective equipment to use and then go back home safely. So we don't only use for give PPE to staff. We ensure that external stakeholders who come into the port also do that. They must comply. It's
Right.
true that some of them will say, oh, it's expensive, they will not, but the laws and regulations do not allow them to come in without the PPEs. So we'll ensure that they all follow suit. Another area that we ensure that accidents are reduced to the minimum is that contractors, concessionaires, when they are signing their contracts with the authority, these our policies become part of it.
Right.
They are educated on our policies, and they take note of them, and they are expected to conform to our policies and comply. So they are supposed to prepare their own OHSC policy documents, which will be in conformance with our policies, so that we can sign off from day one. They know what they're supposed to do, what they're not supposed to do, what is expected of them, and all that. Training, as the fire and safety manager said, is free.
Right.
If they don't have the capabilities or capacity, we help them with the training. We've produced a lot of policy documents, including the safety handbook,
Yes.
which is a very, very key document that we use in the port that every port user must be aware of. But you see, we are aware that if you have policies and regulations and procedures, if you do not have a penalty system, people are not deterrent enough. They are not deterred enough. So my colleague, Mr. Gezu, spoke on that.
Yes.
When you're talking about pollution of the environment, there are things that will deter you. I mean, we'll have tariffs.
Right.
If you flout the laws, we do. But that is not our ultimate aim. Please comply so that we all work together in a safe environment.
Right.
Go home, make your money safely, and keep the port safe. It's a responsibility of GPHA to continue to maintain the ports.
Yeah.
We build the ports, we operate them, and we maintain them. So in the maintenance, safety is key.
Absolutely.
Occupational health, we've just been talking about it over and over. What is it actually? If you look at the occupational health and safety, it's the discipline that is concerned with preserving and protecting human resources in the workplace. That's the simplest definition you can have, ILO and WHO.
Yes.
Yes, the discipline that's concerned with what? Preserving and protecting human resources in the workplace.
Yes.
This summarizes it all. The workplace, whether it's GPHA, whether there are other business people, contractors, they have a workplace.
Right.
And so we must ensure that these policies are implemented to the letter. And the authority takes this very seriously. And that is why our Director General himself, Director Support, and even the board is involved.
Yes.
Because it's the board that has put resources at our disposal, this committee to use and to create the awareness and to make sure that everything that we need to ensure this policy goes a long way is that. If I just want to let viewers look at this document, you can see it's such a very big document.
Absolutely.
Very big document. This is the hard copy. We have soft copies of these documents. We have so many other documents. And all these have been designed by our committee.
Yes.
And the Director General, that's the topmost person,
Yes.
the board of directors, directors of port, staff, line managers, they all have these documents, they know.
Right.
In fact, the external stakeholders, there are a lot of portions here or sections in this document that will give it to you.
Yes.
Depend upon your area.
Yes.
We will not give you the entire document
book,
because it won't be necessary, it won't be of
Absolutely.
any use, but we'll give you relevant sections of the document. And we expect that you know them and you comply with them so that together we will not have any difficulty in doing our work. Now, GPHA as an ethical organization, we take this thing seriously. And even if you look at our corporate social responsibilities, we are top notch. Why do we do that? If the internal environment is not correct or is not good enough, we will not be able to even go outside.
Right.
So inside the port, much as it's a business area, first of all, it's a security zone. So we expect that people should comply with these laws, safety and environment.
Right.
International organizations are watching us. We have signed to so many, I think estate manager can mention them a lot.
Yes.
What are they? The oil people, the
MAPOL
Convention, and all those things. So many international treaties that we have signed as members of IMO. We are a registered member of IMO, isn't it? International Maritime Organization. So we do a lot, and we must comply. It's all about compliance. If you look, again, at occupational health and safety, across the world, globally, the three top most common problems or occupational health issues are back pain, which constitutes about 37%.
Yes.
Hearing loss, 16%. And then obstructive airway disease, 13%. These are big percentages. So people working across board, not only in the maritime industry, they say globally, occupational health. Occupational health, any job you do, there is a risk. And you can contract disease on the job place. So imagine the percentages. And this goes a long way to create a lot of, maybe I'll put it this way, financial loss. If you don't comply with these regulations, you end up having to pay a lot for workman compensations. Your staff will be injured. They will stay home for long periods, and you have to employ casual labor to take their place. All that is cost of the business. Eventually, if you are not serious with you don't take your occupational health and safety issues seriously, you realize that you would be running at a loss. Your profitability, your productivity levels would drop seriously. And you as an organization, you think that, oh, what am I doing? Just because you want to save some small money here, you end up losing a lot more. So it is our duty as an organization, Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, through this committee, to ensure that things are done and done well in the port, so that together we can continue to help Mother Ghana to what? To attain the UN sustainable goals, isn't it? Development goals, because there are so many of them. And our OHSC policies, 17. And our occupation
safety environment is concerned. We're going for a quick break. When we return, we'll continue the discussion. Please stay with us.
Guys, now I'm tired. I'll go on a date with whoever gets here first.
Princess, really? Okay, I come.
Shut up!
Mame, Philippe, thank you, Boss, fill my tank with Super XP Ron 95.
Well up with Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP high performance products from Goyle.
Sorry, Tony got here first, so I'm stepping with him.
Oh, cut him. Hey, go for that.
Choose Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP for an energizing driving experience. Always go for Goyle Super XP Ron 95. Goyle, good energy.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is, you still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Impressive factory. If only I had listened to you, I wouldn't have been in this mess. That devastating fire virtually wiped out the whole factory and my warehouse.
Remember my misfortunes last year? Serene Insurance Asset All Risk Fire policy that I took were there to pay for my damaged stocks in the warehouse. And my machines that were affected by the floods have been replaced. My accident vehicle is back on the road thanks to Serene Insurance motor policy. Currently, my goods are on the IC covered with their marine cargo insurance policy. I was just telling Ajima about Serene Insurance.
Oh, Ajima,
tell him more.
As a road contractor, I make sure I do my contractors all risk insurance for the projects and then workers' compensation for all the workers on site. With Serene Insurance, they will make sure they will cover your unknown tomorrow today.
Serene Insurance, a new face of insurance. Call us now.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302-246-319 or 0243-690-492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
All right, so welcome back. I have been told by the production team that the lines have been activated. You can call in, and the number to dial is 020-5528-353, 020-5528-353. You can call in and contribute to the discussion. I have your messages here. Pretty shortly, I shall be taking them. But let me come to Mrs. Frances Jemima Menu and find out from you how GPHA's ISO certification can be dovetailed into the attainment or the Sustainable Development Goals.
Thank you so much, Ken. Let me take us a little back. In September 2015, world leaders met to adopt the famous 17 Sustainable Development Goals. These were to replace the Millennium Development Goals.
Yeah.
So 1st January 2016, these goals came into force. Now, at this summit, where the adoption took place, they encouraged all organizations, or in all nations, no matter how small an entity you are or what you engage in, you owe it to the globe or to the world to at least work towards solving these Sustainable Development Goals. Which are otherwise known as the global problems.
Right.
And I think GPHA's adoption to some internal business processes, like the new crafts we buy, majority of them are running on battery. We don't use fossil fuel. Some of the earth-moving equipment we use on our operation at the field are also running on battery.
Yes. I'll come back to you, but first of all, let's go into the phone lines. And from Tema, welcome Mark onto the show. Good evening, sir.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, sir.
Yes, so I want to find out, they have policies, and I want to find out if these policies are accessible to the general public and to external interested parties. How can they access them?
Okay. All right. I'm sure. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mark. Thank you.
Okay. So.
Yes.
These policies, we've extracted some of them into the handbooks. So when you are entering the port, we give you.
Right.
The fire safety manager distributes randomly.
Right.
We also have soft copy of this handbook on the website.
Right.
We also have these documents for our internal interested parties on our share folder, our SharePoint.
Yes.
It's a document folder we have created for our internal staff.
Yes.
We also intend to go further to, taking some salient issues that were missed out in the initial version of the handbook to ensure that it is rich enough to give. However, you can always walk to the office of the marketing department, and then you will be given a copy.
Okay.
Like the chairman indicated earlier, if you give it the entire document, it might not be important to you. So we'll extract things that will be important to you and we'll give to you. Some of the concessionaires and licensees walked to me for it.
Right.
I remember a number of them even came to me last week to take portions of the manual.
That's relevant to their business.
Yes, to develop their environmental management plan and occupational health safety plan.
Right.
Which I think is a good thing to do. So the document is available. You can contact the marketing department, or they can come to your office, the Port office, and you can have copies, or visit our website. Yes.
All right. Yes.
So back to my submission. And so the authorities' adoption of improved internal business process, like the changing of our crafts gradually, our operational equipment and other earth-moving equipment, is a good. We've also started using a solar system for some areas.
Right.
We've also adopted certain things. However, adoption of the ISO systems has come in handy. The reason being that ISO has developed so far 21,584 plus standards, and these standards support all the 17 goals, with the highest being goal 9, which is 13,747, and the least being goal 17, which is 2. That's partnership for the goals.
Right.
If you look at ISO 14,001, it supports 12 of the goals.
Right.
If you take the 27,001, it supports goal 9.
Right.
If you take the 45,001, it supports 7 goals.
Right.
And then the quality supports 5 goals. So if we really implement and make sure that our ISO systems are managed and managed well, indirectly, we are working towards also helping the world heal from its problems that are coined in the 17 development goals.
Right, awesome.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So let me come to Mr. Gazy and find out from you what the Port Authority's plans are for reducing, recycling and reusing in terms of waste management.
Thank you. And like I said earlier on, we, under the environmental management system, the 14,001, we develop programs and plans to help us manage the environment well.
Yes.
And waste, under our waste management plan, we use a 3R system. There are so many versions of the R's, but we want to adopt the basic ones: the reduction of waste, the reuse, and the recycling.
Yes.
Reduction, we've said that consumption basically is the problem of all the pollution that we have, unsustainable consumption. So we encourage stakeholders and staff to reduce their consumption of the natural resources that we have.
Yes.
Not only food. No, we're not just not talking about food, but natural resources. The lighting that we use, the paper we use. As much like she mentioned, we have the SharePoint.
Yes.
So we no more print documents and share around every table. No, we have a digitalized system that you can put documents there. Those who are supposed to view it are given access to go there and view it. When the Director General receives a document that he needs to share with us, he scan it and share it appropriately. So you don't need to print copies. So reduction of waste is very, very important.
Reduction of waste is very, very important.
Very, very important.
You hold your gun there, GM. Let's welcome Mr. Samuel Safo, who's calling us from Kumasi. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Thank you very much.
I'm currently watching your program on the Metro TV, and I think it's a nice program.
We appreciate you so much. Thank you.
And the last time we actually had, literally on this at the Cape Valley. I don't know if you can. Yeah, and I like the fact that now we have free education. And this free education, let's wait to have about 10 years to come. People will go out, buy pure water, drink it, and put it in their bag, come back to the house, and put it inside the dustbin. But I still go outside and see people that will still drink water through the rubbish away discriminately. So I think we ourselves, we need to be more educated about some of these things. That when you drink water, you should be able to put it in the dustbin. When it is a bottle, you should go here. When it is drink, you should go here. We shouldn't, when it is raining, we should be able to dump our rubbish and all those things nicely. I think we need to be educated well, and we need to also change our attitude. So everything shouldn't be politicized. Are you getting what I mean?
Absolutely.
I think people need to be well educated.
Right.
Thank you. You are doing a nice program. I'm really enjoying it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Samuel Safo. We are deeply grateful to you. Called us all the way from Kumasi. I think, unfortunately, he would be our last caller because time is not on our side. We have barely 10 minutes to wrap up. So, GM, if you can. Yes.
That's where we should be going. We should be reducing our consumption, not only the food we eat, the resources that we use, electricity. In GPHA, in certain offices, we have sensors. When you go out of the office, the light goes off. And we also put notices around that if you're the last person exiting the office, switch the lights off. Absolutely. We should reduce consumption. And coming to the second one, reuse. As much as possible, we should reuse items that we purchase.
Right.
For instance, in my office, envelopes that we put documents inside, I don't throw them away unless it's completely torn. I keep them and reuse them and reuse them. So we should reuse and reuse until you cannot use them anymore.
Right. Okay, so...
Then we come to the recycling.
Yes, we'll come to recycling, but the production team tells me we need to add one more one more caller. So let's go to Francis and talk to him. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Awesome. Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling you from Tema.
Tema, please shoot.
Tema 22, community 22.
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, so I want to ask, I'm really enjoying your program, but there's something I want to ask if your people are aware of and if they are practicing it. That
right.
is green logistics.
Green logistics. Okay.
Yes, it is something that really helps, and it helps to control this waste and also to minimize the pollution we have been seeing in the environment. So if they haven't heard of it or if they are not practicing it, I suggest that they can also look at that. It helps a lot.
Right, sure. Thank you very much indeed, Francis. We are grateful to you. GM, yes. I think you are on the, so you can respond to green logistics.
Yes. But let me finish now. I will come to that.
Right.
Reusing, we will encourage everyone to stop using single-use plastic. If you are going to buy plastic rubber bag, they can reuse and use until you cannot use them anymore. Then when it comes to recycling, we try as much as possible to segregate our source, the items that we can recycle.
Yes.
Like paper. We use a lot of wood for pallets.
Yes.
Our pallets are made of wood. We don't use plastic yet.
Yes.
We can reuse the wood. We don't need to throw them into the environment.
Yeah.
We have paper that we can recycle paper. We can recycle plastics.
Yeah.
When we started this segregation policy, we were not getting off-takers for the plastics. But now people are coming with applications wanting to collect the plastics.
Right.
So we should segregate the plastics. Or with the plastic menace, we're able to segregate, like the gentleman said, if you drink pure water, keep the plastic.
The nearest way
when you get home, keep it in the house. Consolidate them. When they are too much, you can get somebody to take them and recycle. We collect the rubbers and make value out of it.
Right.
When they come and pick it, they pay us a small fee. Even though they are disposing for it, they pay a small fee.
Right.
When we collect the paper, we shred them and give them to recycling company, and we get toilet rolls in return.
Right.
So there's value in recycling, so we should pursue recycling.
Awesome.
And talking about green logistics, yes, like she said, all equipment, the new equipment we are buying, we are changing from fossil fuel to electricity.
Right.
Go to MPS, the counting cranes that they've bought are fossil fuel and
electricity.
So they can switch to electricity at any time.
Right.
And our new crafts that are coming are also the same thing. Apart from that, there are systems in the new craft that can absorb carbon.
Right.
So if you don't even have electricity on the crafts, you generate the fossil fuel, you produce carbon. There's a system that captures it.
Right.
See, if you go to other jurisdictions, they capture carbon and store them.
Right.
So we can do all sorts of things to improve the system. So green logistics is very key on the agenda.
And GPHA is beginning to practice it?
Definitely.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Awesome. All right, so let me take a few messages and I'll come to GM, chairman of the committee. And when I come to you, I just wanted to tell us briefly, because we don't have time, about the zero tolerance for alcohol and drug abuse. That's right. Exactly. This one says, kudos to the management of GPHA. These things take time, but this energy I've seen from the start, I am sure the momentum will be kept. This one's from Doris in Tema, Community 1. I'm happy to hear GPHA is doing something about the dust. Long overdue, Prince in Tema. And when safety rules are followed, accidents will be reduced in the port. Kudos, GPHA. Albert in Takrady sent in that one. So yes, let's come to Dr. Anabisi.
Yes. Thank you, Ken.
Yes,
thank you, our dear listeners and viewers. Alcohol and drug use is a menace across the world that should not be encouraged.
Yes.
GPH, as part of our policies, there's a whole policy on drug abuse and alcohol abuse. We know that alcohol is a depressant overall.
Yeah.
And other drugs, illicit drugs, and all kinds of drugs would impair your judgment. And some of them ultimately would affect your health. Now, as an authority, we have even zero tolerance for drug use, especially illicit drugs. Now, alcohol as well. But management, once again, has bought breathalyzers for supervisors, for line managers, so that randomly we can check. Lately, we added testing, we call it MDT, multiple drug test.
Right.
If you're coming for employment in GPHA, as part of your medical exam, or called pre-employment medical exam, you'll be tested for drugs.
Right.
We can test for up to about 18 different drugs. And if we are found to be having a problem with that, we'll give our report to the Human Resource Department, and they will know what to do.
Right.
So we don't encourage it at all, and we don't allow it.
Right.
Use of illicit drugs and alcohol abuse is an offense that can lead to summary dismissal. I repeat that. It can lead to summary dismissal.
Right.
So we are encouraging people, our own staff, those who are already in the authority, please desist from it. Those who are yet to join us, if you want to join GPHA, then please make sure you rehabilitate yourself before coming. Otherwise, we'll find you out that you are a drug abuser, we will not be able to engage you.
Absolutely.
Our own staff, once again, the authority spends so much money already on your health. Our authority is one of the organizations that has got a lot of, I'll say, room for budgetary allocation for health.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that we should abuse it.
Yeah.
We will not tolerate that, and HR, and for that matter, top management takes this matter seriously, and at the end of the day, we are saying that please stop the alcohol, stop the drug use, and together we shall make progress.
Absolutely. Thank you very much indeed, Doc. And I saw you take some notes down. You wanted to say something? No. Okay.
Can I have just one word?
Yes.
Yes. I want to also appeal to all our stakeholders. You know, for the polity, we take environmental issues very seriously.
Yes.
So every undertaking that you undertake in the port, all the LCs that we give them land, we ask them to do environmental impact assessment.
Yes.
And they obtain permit before we allow them to operate.
Yes.
Some of them only take the permit and start working. They don't even read the permit.
Yes.
But the permit has conditions.
Yes. Yeah.
It comes to a schedule. And the schedule are conditions that you should comply with.
Right.
So we beg all our stakeholders that when you get the permit, read the conditions very well. But we insist that you comply with the terms of the permit.
Yes.
The conditions are the terms of the permit. And if you fail to comply with them, we will report it to EPA.
Right.
And make sure that EPA deals with you. So we'll encourage all our stakeholders to read the permit conditions very well and try to comply with it. That's the only way we can protect the environment.
Absolutely. Awesome.
Ken, if I just quickly add to that,
30 seconds,
yes, that when you come into the port, our security department, our port monitoring and control department, they are mandated by our laws to get you out of the port if they find out that you are drunk or you're on any drug of any sort, or you're flouting any law of anything, because it's a security zone and we must all follow the laws.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doc. 30 seconds.
Yes. So GPHA's ISO system clocked 10 years last year, December 2023. And I would like to use this opportunity to thank top management for their continual support. All HODs, especially my ISO focal team members, both in Tema and Takrady, and then my core staff, Sandra Adabere and Emmanuel Combination. I say thank you so much to Iron Port for always projecting GPHA stands on ISO and safety, quality, and environmental issues.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Mrs. Frances Jemima Menu is the ISO coordinator at the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Next to him is Mr. James Benjamin Gezi, General Manager, Estate and Environment, Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. And indeed, we also have in the studios Dr. Vitus Victor Anabisi, who is the chairman of the Occupational Health and Safety and Environment Committee, Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, also General Manager, Health Services, Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. We're also joined by Zoom by Mr. Edward Heyman, who is the Port Fire and Safety Manager. Oh, he's still there. GM, I thought, Mr. Heyman, I thought you had left us, so please forgive us. So we thank you so much for being a part of our Port today. We appreciate you so much, and we want to say a big thanks to our sponsors, Ghana Regional Authority, Well PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link Network Services, Meridian Port Services, and indeed Phoenix Insurance. Remember, the show is proudly powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, GPHA. We entreat you to keep watching the rest of our programs. God willing, next week, Sunday, we shall bounce back with another wonderful edition of Iron Port here on Metro TV. On Wednesday, the abridged version of Iron Port will be aired on Ghana Television at 8:30 p.m. Make a date and watch that. My name is Kennedy Mona. We thank you for being a part and wish you a super week ahead. Have a blessed evening.
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.